Okay, welcome back. And so, running the MPC software in Logic, and why would I do it, and what's the benefit? And the answer really is for myself. There's a certain workflow that I've been searching for that gives me sort of that real flexibility that the MPC offers, which is like no other to me. But then taking advantage of a lot of what Logic, because Logic is really cool. From front to end, you can do pretty much everything. No argument on that. But what Logic doesn't do is it doesn't give you that sort of creation openness um, that MPC seems to foster more. And it's really more, even though they have the loop based, it's really not the same thing. It's like trying to force the MPC to do linear recording when that's not really what it does best, the way it's all structured and the way the interface is. And so what I realize is that um, adjusting my workflow to create an idea using the MPC software or standalone and then finishing it off in Logic. And so you have like these two sub concentric circles that sort of meet in the middle, and that middle section where they meet is what I'm about to show you right here, which is running the MPC as a VST inside of Logic. Now you can see you can record into the MPC, and you can record in Logic separately while running them together. But keep in mind, it's kind of a bad experience for both to be running, and especially with the MPC software inside of Logic, you got to kind of keep tabs on the timeline all the time, because assuming that you're starting to think more of like a linear recording, you have to also think like that in the MPC. So just keep in mind, while you're in the Logic software, you're going to be controlling the transport for both through Logic. Logic's going to be the master. So for example, if I've got a 4-bar phrase between bars 5 and 9, then it's best to adjust the transport from 5 to 9. And so with the MPC, you want to increase your sequence to at least 9 bars, and then you want to have the timelines to be very relatively running on the same timeline. Again, you're really making the MPC be more like Logic, which is very awkward, by the way. And so as you can see, they're lined up. Actually, they're not. Now they're lined up. Okay, so now they're lined up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so they're lined up because you want your parts to all be lined up from within and with the MPC and Logic. Having said that, it totally just destroys the experience of each DAW when you have them running together. So why you would want to run them together is because think of them, like I said, as concentric circles, where somewhere in the middle they kind of meet and then pass the baton from one to another. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So if I open up a session that was originally started in the MPC, this is just a real quick thing. So this was basically a 2-track session with FM8 and drum synth in the MPC. Now check this out. So just a 2-bar phrase. So I'll just line it up just like this. I'll press play on the Logic transport. So as you can see, they play real nice together. And at this stage and juncture, what I would probably end up doing is going into the mix window, creating auxiliaries for whatever amount of tracks that I had in the MPC section, like you see down here. And then this is where I would dump out the audio, or the plug, or the tracks, either as MIDI or as audio. And then I would pass that baton to Complete in Logic to do the heavy lifting. And so the MPC really would serve as sort of the idea creation starter, and then Logic would be sort of that finishing touch, linear style structure recorder that I can take to to the final end. And so that's kind of how I see the benefit of being able to run, or the purpose for running the MPC in Logic as a VST. There are other ways, and I might make another video of running the MPC as your only DAW, and then Logic as a sound source, as like a module. I might make a video on that, but I think I'm leaning more towards keeping them separate and using each DAW for what they do best. So, if you have any questions or comments, of course, leave them below. And please don't forget to hit subscribe. And until next time, peace out.